In today's video, we will be discussing why repetition makes information feel true. Let's begin. Why does something start to feel true? The more often you hear it, at times it can feel like, well, it's being said, must have some truth to it, or everyone around me is saying this, and it makes sense, so it must be true. The human mind is designed to recognize patterns, and repeated information becomes familiar even before it's fully evaluated. Familiar doesn't mean accurate, it just means recognized. So, the human mind logs this information, oftentimes as true. Let's talk about this a little more, shall we? The more something is seen, heard, and repeated, the easier it is to accept. If you are amongst friends, family, and something is said, you are more inclined to repeat and believe it. This also pertains to watching media, whether it's a network channel, newspaper, radio, or social media, or other places where you get information from. Familiarity reduces resistance. And when resistance is low, information feels easier to believe. The brain prefers what it recognizes because it requires less effort. If there are a lot of people around you saying the same things, this tends to be read by your brain as fact. Human minds were designed for survival, so the mind makes decisions quickly under pressure. These shortcuts served us well in the past, but today we don't have the same environment. Now we have some time to dig a bit deeper when we receive information. Over time, repeated ideas can feel like common knowledge, even if they haven't been fully examined. And over time, repeated exposure can replace deeper evaluation. In today's society, we have something that did not exist in the past. We have this thing called the internet. With this invention, we have a plethora of information that is provided to us at the click of our hands. We have many different views being presented, and also the invention of the algorithm. The algorithm learns your likes and dislikes and is able to show you more of what you already agree with. We will talk about this deeper in later discussions. This doesn't mean repeated information is always wrong, but it does mean repetition alone isn't proof. When making an important decision, wouldn't it be good to know that you are making a decision with the best information available to you? Not information that is being repeated and isn't fully true. This information was set up in a way to get an emotional reaction from you, similar to what we discussed in other videos around narratives. This next part really helps you with that. Let's take a moment to review what can help in instances such as these. When something seems familiar, take a moment to ask why. Taking the time to pause and identify where it's coming from helps. Is this true? Or is this just being repeated? This gives you a chance to logically identify why this feels familiar and trace the source. We are able to make well informed decisions based on the information that is available. This means pausing when taking information, using more than one source for information gathering. This way, it protects your mind by placing a filter on what information gets access to you. Have you ever heard of the saying, consider the source? This is a good example of something to add to the filter when being confronted by different types of information. Familiarity is not verification. If we are able to train our minds to slow down and ask better questions, we can make better decisions. This helps in many facets of our lives. It helps take some of the load off of our thinking and keeps us having agency of our minds. Being familiar with something doesn't mean that it's true. This is why we source our information from different places.